Hello, welcome back to another week of makeup, masking, and murder. It's so weird. I haven't been here for a month to record, but I just want to say thank you for all the support. It's been so awesome. I can't believe how many people have been so supportive and excited about the podcast, and I love you all. The MMM fam is growing. So today I have the most special guest. I have my husband, Briton Hill.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Happy to be here.
I've been begging you to come, and I'm happy to finally have you here. I'm just nodding.
Good.
Yeah, so me and Britt have been married a little over 4 years, but we've known each other since we were 15.
Yep. Been friends forever.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the best.
Thank you.
Love him lots.
You're the best.
He manages an investment advisory firm. Loves it. He just kills it in the financial world. Things I do not understand, but really proud of him. You hate
Thank
this. So yeah, I'm excited. We've had some kind of spooky stories traveling. We're big travelers. Briton, when we were dating and first married, he worked for Delta. So that was super fun because we got to just fly around the world, have a lot of adventures. Seriously, like, our first year of marriage, we were so broke, and we like, would never go on dates or anything. We'd just save our money for travel, and I wouldn't have had it any other way. It was so fun. So we have 2 stories today that have to do with our travels, which will be so fun. But we'll start out with our product spotlight. I'll go first. Show you the ropes. My product I'm going to spotlight today is the Makeup Forever Flash Palette. It is a flash color palette that they just call, like, a multi-use palette. It's pigmented creams. I think every makeup artist should have this in their kit, honestly. It comes with 12 different colors, and they're just cream pigments, and it's awesome for, like, this time of year for Halloween, creating fun different makeup looks, you know, skeletons, clowns, all of that. But it's also awesome just, like, for regular editorial stuff. You can just custom mix all your colors. I've made, like, a lot of colored liners. You can make blush out of them. You can make, whatever. You can make lipsticks. It's awesome. So it runs at $99, but a little goes a long way. Like, I've had it over a year, and I barely even have used any, it looks like, but I've used it a number of times. So that is my recommendation. You can order it just online. I've actually never seen it in a store, so that's where I'd recommend doing it. I bought it from Sephora, but I'm sure you could just order it straight from Makeup Forever or lots of other different places. So I'll link this as usual. Oh, and also, so I have the artistic one, and that comes in gold, coral, turquoise, fuchsia, yellow, brown, silver, white, red, bright blue, leaf green, and black. But they do have a neutral one if you're not wanting to play with, like, different colors, if you're just wanting neutrals for your kit. And that one comes in gray, brown, purple, gray, rosewood, dark antique pink, ivory, livid, khaki, pink, brown. It's like making me run out of breath reading these. Fresh pink, sienna, and rusty brown. So go check it out. I'll link it per usual. Yeah. What did you bring today, Britt?
I brought Aqua Bomb.
The best.
The best. It is an integral part of my skincare routine. Should I tell them my skincare routine?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it normally starts off with what I call the priming phase, and this is usually when I go to the gym. Don't take a shower after, and then go straight to bed. So you get your skin good and ready for a nice moisturizing on top of all the grease.
Stop. Do not do that, guys. Do not.
Yeah. So I'm pretty lucky. I have good skin naturally, so I really only use a moisturizer. And this stuff is pretty great. It makes my skin soft. I like it. It's not too harsh because I have sensitive skin. I had bad acne in high school, and so I was putting all this stuff on my skin, you know, that the dermatologist gave me. And my acne never cleared up, so one day I just gave up on skincare and just decided, whatever, I have zits. I'm just going to deal with it. And within a month, my skin cleared up and was perfect, and I've hardly ever had a zit since. So
he literally has perfect skin. You would never know that he ever had bad skin.
Yeah.
Seriously, like, people compliment his skin all the time.
But it's probably because I don't do anything to my skin ever. I'm one of those people that the more I mess with it, the worse it gets. So a nice moisturizer is all I really need, especially during the summertime when you're out in the sun and your skin dries out, or in the wintertime when it's kind of dry and janky here in Utah.
Yeah.
It's nice to have
Yeah.
have a good moisturizer. So
Do you just use it at night or in the morning? I can't remember.
I mostly do it in the morning because that's when I remember to do it, because I'm putting my hair products and it's right there by like my hair product and stuff like that. So I just grab it and do it in the morning. But I don't know. I mean, you tell me I could do it at night.
Which
too.
Aqua Bomb do you use? Because there are multiple. Is it the True
This
Cream?
is the True Cream.
The True Cream Moisturizing Balm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. And you say you don't cleanse, but you use a cleanser a couple times a week.
Oh, yeah, that one $10 green one that you hated.
It's not $10.
Oh.
But, yeah.
I thought you said it was $10.
No, I didn't. It was kind of expensive.
Oh. Well, she gives me all the garbage that she doesn't like.
No, it's not garbage. Just things that don't work on my skin.
Well, the True Cream is free. It just kind of ends up in my drawer whenever I run out. So I think if you buy it once, it just replenishes itself.
Oh, yeah.
Because I get a new bottle every time I get
Just
low.
magic.
I'm not sure how that happens.
Same with your vitamin C.
Yes, same with my vitamin C.
Okay, but talk about your vitamin C, because you love that.
Well, funny story. My grandmother, God bless her, she's Korean. If any of you have a Korean grandmother, you know how blunt they are. So she gives me a hug yesterday, and she's like, you smell like vitamins. I was like, and then apparently that's a good thing. If any of you don't know what vitamin smells like, go and open up a multivitamin
It's
can.
the worst.
And then get a whiff of that, and apparently that's what I smell like. So you can look forward to that when you meet me.
You
Apparently
do not
I smell like
at all.
vitamins.
You don't.
But
though.
yeah, I put on a vitamin C moisturizer, and that's, I guess,
Serum.
what my grandma was smelling. Oh yeah, the vitamin C serum.
Yeah, but it's really, like, everyone's complimented how your complexion's just brighter, and that's what vitamin C helps with, like dullness, and so yeah. You've got your 3 products that you use, and I think that's all you need. You don't even use them every day, and it's great.
No, I use 2 to 3 times a week. I use the moisturizer more often than the others. The others I'm just kind of 2 to 3
just
times
because we
a
live
week.
in Utah, it's so dry here and so blah, so you kind of have to. I think everyone needs a moisturizer.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, awesome. Thanks, babe.
Yep.
Well, should we get into our stories?
Yes.
Okay. So long story short, basically, when me and Britain, so we kind of lost touch for a few years, and then we reconnected, and, literally the first time we hung out, we just never stopped hanging out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we were just from the second. So we got married pretty quick, and when I think it was, the week before, Britain had just asked for my dad's blessing, and honestly, we've been married 4 years, and we're so happy, so I won't, even without not shame, but sometimes people give us a hard time, for getting married so fast, but, so we had been together for, 3 months, Britain had just asked for my dad's blessing, and so my parents were like, well, let's get to know you. So my dad is an author, and he was doing some research for one of his books. So basically, for my younger siblings, Michael and Kenna, who are the same age, they're only 6 months apart, for their spring break, my parents were like, we're going on a road trip to Arizona. So we fly into Tucson, Arizona. We drive to all these different places. We go to Mexico. My brother doesn't even have a passport with him. And seriously, we just my dad was like, oh, it's fine. We asked the people at the border. We were like, is it okay? We're just going to drive and make a loop. Not even get out of the car. You remember that?
Yes.
It's so funny. So one of the stops, though, was in Douglas, Arizona. My dad wanted to check out this place called the Gadsden Hotel. So the Gadsden Hotel is located in Douglas, Arizona. It opened its doors for the first time in 1907 when Douglas was a thriving mining city. It actually, I didn't know this until I read this morning because, me procrastinating all week. But it actually, burned down. Did you know that?
I think.
You knew it?
Kind of rings a bell.
Yeah, so it burned down and then reopened in 1929. But the only thing that survived were there's these it's a really cool hotel, but there are these white marble Italian steps, and then these 4 huge pillars. So that survived, but this was a pretty famous hotel. Many famous faces, including Eleanor Roosevelt, Charlie Sheen, have walked these halls, and it also served as a meeting place for cattlemen, miners, and businessmen. Even Pancho Villa was a guest once.
I didn't even know Pancho Villa was a real person. Thought that was Nacho Libre or something.
No, he was a general in a war. or something.
Right.
We're educated people, but maybe not about this.
I didn't go to college.
Me neither, but we're doing fine. So Gadsden lore says that Pancho Villa...
It's Gadsden.
Sorry. Gadsden lore. Okay, I did listen to this video this morning, though, and the guy was like, Gaston, and it was driving me crazy the whole time. But Gadsden lore says Pancho Villa rode his horse up these steps and chipped the 7th one. And there's still a chip in the thing, so that's kind of cool, right?
People could just ride their horses in buildings back in the day.
I mean, apparently.
Could I drive my car through Fashion Place Mall?
I feel like not in this day and age, you know? It's not what it once was.
It's not the Wild West anymore.
No. So, he was assassinated, and he was buried, and on February 6, 1926, the graveyard caretaker... What do they call them? I feel like there's a better name that sounds spookier.
The Gravies?
No. Brad, do you know what word I'm talking about?
The Undertakers.
Like the...
I like Brits.
It's like... I don't know. Someone's screaming it on the other side of this episode right now, listening. I don't know what it is.
Gravekeeper.
No,
Crypt Keeper.
Getting closer.
Grave robber.
Well, so some grave robbers came, basically, dug up his coffin / what's the proper word? Casket. Dug up his casket. It said it was shattered, which I don't really know what it was made of, but I guess you can shatter it. And all these like pieces were off of it. I think they're valuable things. But his body was laying on the side and his head was gone and never found. So, like legend says, is he had a map of like this treasure chest or this treasure hidden up in the mountains, tattooed on his head. So his like followers had to hide his head, and legend says that it was buried in the basement of the Gadsden Hotel.
So we're about to go rob the Gadsden Hotel's basement.
No. I mean, it would have rotted. That's what that doesn't make sense. Wouldn't it have rotted by then?
Treasure?
His head with the map.
Well, the rest of his bones were there.
It's not like he was tattooed on his bones.
You never know.
Okay.
I mean, he was riding his horse through a hotel.
He just gave no Fs. So...
I think we stormed the Gadsden Hotel.
So I found this article, and there was a manager there who was super skeptical about the supernatural history until one day she went down to the basement in search of candles during a power outage, and she glimpsed a figure in a long duster coat and a cowboy hat in the beam of her flashlight. Can you imagine just like shining a flashlight and just seeing someone like hunched over, like looking at you in these old clothes? I just chills down my back. Another one of their famous claims to spooky fame is their most famous room is 333. And you went to that with my dad and Michael, didn't you?
Yeah, we went and checked it out. Your dad wanted to see it and kind of walk inside.
Yeah, so what was it like?
I don't know. It was a hotel room with the lights off, and then we turned the lights on. Then the lights were on in the hotel room.
Was it creepy at all, though? Did it like feel like anything or not really?
I mean, we
As
were
the
only
lights start flickering in here.
We were only in there for
a few minutes.
Yeah, like 2 minutes.
Do they even rent out that room? Do you remember?
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't rented out, and we obviously weren't staying in there. I think the hotel manager said she let your dad stay there when we were there.
Got it. But I'm sure my mom was like, there's no way we're sleeping in that room.
Yeah.
So some of the claims are that there's like a female ghost, and she's been known to turn on and off the lamp in the TV. And I read that like multiple places that the TV will turn on and off. I've also read that there are paranormal accounts that are not only TVs turning on and off, but they'll hear like knocks in the walls. But not like the walls that are like connected to other ones. You know what I mean? Just like weird noises. I've also read several accounts of people in bed and feeling like the imprint of someone sitting down next to them. You know when you hear those stories and it's like the bed kind of goes down. So yeah, lots of little stories there. And also kind of fun that they do this. They have a big binder in the front of the hotel where people record their supernatural encounters and all of that. So that's fun. They have 2 binders, and I bet my dad looked at it. Did you? I don't remember, and we should have written down what you're about to tell us. So yeah, we stayed there one night, and here is the spooky story.
All right. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gents. Okay, so staying in this creepy hotel with this new family that I'm going to be a part of, and we walk in, and there on the left-hand side, there was like a saloon, and they're playing loud music, and people are in there drinking, just having a great time.
I wouldn't say it was abnormally loud or anything, though, would you?
No, I mean, it was just like a bar in the hotel type of thing, and
yeah.
Kind of those Western vibes. So anyways, they're playing music. We go up into our hotel room, and the way the hotel was kind of laid out, it was like the rooms were facing inwards, and if you walked out of our room, right in front of our room, there was like a banister, and you could like look down into the lobby of the hotel. Am I remembering this right?
Yeah. Well, and you and Michael were in a room, right?
Yeah, so I'm sharing a room with Abby's brother, because we weren't allowed to share a room yet. So sharing a room with Abby's brother, and he and I were just up talking, hanging out, chilling, and finally we were like trying so hard to sleep, and about like 3 a.m. we're just like, oh my gosh, when does this saloon music stop? Like, do
like
they blaring music, people screaming, yelling.
You'd think that it was like, and also, other note, it was a weekday, wasn't it? It wasn't even a weekend. I
don't remember what day it was.
I think it was a weekday, because that made it even weirder, because we were like, what the heck?
I mean, there's more weekdays than weekends, so the odds are in your favor. But, yeah, so just really, really loud music. Finally at 3 a.m., he and I are both going crazy, but we don't go outside to check. We're both in our boxers, whatever. We're just like, it'll stop at least by morning. So finally we fall asleep and it stops. We get up in the morning, and we go, and we're just like, we're checking out, and I was like, dang, that music was loud last night. What time do they usually close? And she says, oh, they close at 10 o'clock. We're like, what?
Yeah, it had to be a weekday. But yeah, they closed early.
Yeah, they closed down the saloon at 10 o'clock, but we were hearing music and people like it sounded like they were right outside our door.
It sounded like we were at a concert.
Yeah.
And we were in 2 different rooms hearing this.
Yeah, and
reconciled the next morning and shared these stories.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're outside a concert hall and you can hear the music blasting inside, that's what it was like all night long, like shaking our room until the wee hours of the morning, 4 a.m. when it finally stopped. But I mean, it was just crazy. So that's the spooky story of the Hotel Gadsden that I have.
Well, no, you didn't finish it.
Oh.
So you're like, wow, the music was really loud, and they said it closed at 10, but didn't they try to blame it was like in Tijuana?
Oh, yeah. They were trying to tell us that. I was like, are you serious? We heard it at 3 a.m. I mean, they're like, oh, well, that was just all the parties in Tijuana or Mexico or something like that. Not Tijuana.
We're like,
because it wouldn't have been Tijuana, but
yeah.
I mean, you're close to the border, but the border is still a few miles away.
Like, there's no way. It sounded like it was like someone was holding a freaking boombox up next to your door.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
Something. Like, it was wild.
Like, it sounded like somebody was blasting music in the bathroom with the door closed. Like, you could hear it. There's no way it was Mexico.
Yeah. So, that was crazy.
Yes.
And I don't think my parents heard it either.
No, her parents didn't hear it.
But they were kind of further than us.
It was the ghosts trying to lure the kids out of the rooms to the party. And
so funny.
Find our bodies dead.
So funny. No, not funny that.
Dismembered.
Oh, and it was trying to lure us to the basement.
Yeah, the ghosts, they wanted to dismember us.
Okay, so now we have another story. So, back in, when did we go? In May? We went to Switzerland on a trip with our friends. Cammie, who was, a previous guest on my episode, and her husband Charlie, the 4 of us, found super awesome cheap tickets to Switzerland. Everyone get Pomelo. It's the best. We literally went to Switzerland for $385 round trip. How wild is that?
Yeah, not in a terrible time of year either. I mean,
and it was like on Delta. It wasn't like some
janky airline that
we
don't
weren't
know if it'll get off the ground or not.
Yeah, or like 5 layovers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had 1 layover in JFK, which is pretty standard going to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were there in May, which is an awesome time to go.
Yeah, it was so nice. So That was so fun. So we ended up splitting off from Cammy and Charlie for a bit. They went to Munich, and Britain actually had some clients down in, where was it that they lived?
They lived by Lausanne, close to Geneva.
Yeah, so one day we took the train into Geneva. And we were just walking around the city, like, it was pretty rainy though, so we were trying to find something inside to do. And also, another note, when me and Britain travel, we don't plan a ton, because we kind of like to ask the locals, what's cool to see, we'll pick a few things here and there, but...
Yeah, that, and it's hard. I mean, when you travel, you never know what the weather's going to be like, so a lot of people will set their plans, like, set in stone, and on this day
and
we're hiking the volcano,
and yeah,
it's like, well, that turned out to be the worst day because the volcano's erupting, So we like to travel with kind of things we want to see, but an open itinerary based on weather and other factors like that.
Yeah. So we go into Geneva, and people tell us we need to go see this church, though. So we go to the church, and we sit inside, and it was just like the city's cathedral. I looked it up this morning. I think it was called St. Pierre's. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we go in, and honestly, like... We've been to so many churches. We always go to a ton of churches when we travel, and we love seeing it. But this one just kind of, like, felt cold and dark. Like, there weren't really, like, there wasn't any color in it. Like, it just kind of felt like a big cement block to be in.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't feel as comforting or inviting as other churches we'd seen in Europe. And
yeah.
Because that's kind of one of the things I like to do. I like to go into these different churches and just sit and meditate and kind of just think like, okay, yeah, this is a pretty peaceful, nice place. But this church, I was just kind of sitting there, and I just felt kind of more uneasy than anything.
Yeah, unsettled. We were both kind of
just
like...
a little unsettled.
I feel like we usually can, like, go sit in there and just kind of chill, and I feel like we were both kind of, like, anxious to get out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a weird... It wasn't... Like, maybe there was some stained glass. I don't remember, though. It wasn't, like,
there
the big...
Some. I mean, it was ornate. It was beautiful. It just kind of had a different vibe.
And there, like, weren't any lights. So maybe that attributed to it.
No, it was pretty dimly lit, and it was raining outside, so there wasn't much light coming in the windows.
That could have gone with it, too. So we go in, and actually downstairs, there's this whole, like, archaeological... what is that? I was going to say study.
It was an archaeological site. So,
yeah,
we walked out, and it was still raining, and we're like, oh, dang, now we got to go find something to do.
So we go down. We're like, oh, that's cool. So this church... Well, you explain this part, because I don't know.
So basically, you all might find this interesting. Geneva's a really, really old city, like thousands of years. It was settled by pagan tribes, and then the Romans came in, and so basically what happened is this church was built upon a holy site for pagan tribes, I guess, and these pagans were doing rituals and things like that, human sacrifices and sacrificing things to deities, and the Romans came in, they're like, oh no, none of that, and so they built like their settlement on top with their church, and then that got knocked down, and another church got built on top of that, and then a different church, and then a different church. So basically there's like 5 different holy churches that have been built on top of this until this Catholic cathedral finally came and stayed for good. But it originally started as kind of a little bit of a janky witchcraft zone, where they're...
Well, and also I do have to say this exhibit was really cool because they had these like diagrams where it'd be like this was the first one, then this was the next, and it was just really interesting to see how like each community would change and all of that. So they have this tour, and you go down and you have these little like almost remote control looking things.
It's the cliche, like they give you like the recording of the tour where you push the number of what part you're at, and it'll talk to you and tell you about it in whatever language you want to hear about it in. These
ones are kind of weird though, because they didn't have headphones. It was like a phone. You like held it up to your ear.
Right.
So we go down and we just start going through this tour, and it was really interesting because it was like very low ceiling, very cold, very darkly lit. But it was cool. Like, we were loving it. It was really long. It took like 2 hours to get through it.
Yeah, it was huge, and I mean, there was just so much history. So
yeah.
Basically what it was is if if you've been to like Jerusalem, you know, there's like different levels of Jerusalem because it's been destroyed and rebuilt so many times. So this was basically like the original church beneath the church is what this was. And so, you know, you could see like the old pillars and the old rooms, and it was like, oh, this was the bishop's room. And they actually had part of the original like pagan site still under there that they excavated.
Yeah. And so they'd have these like basically it was all fenced off, and you could look out into like the excavated part, and there would be like these little kind of cutouts, and you could see like to a point, but it was dark back there, but there'd be like piles of rocks. And there was one, this was kind of the first thing that creeped us out, that we're walking past and we're kind of like, oh, I wonder what's back there. And it's just this dark, and all of a sudden it sounded like someone like threw a rock in there, which was beyond impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it
was like a crawl space.
It was like a crawl space, but it sounded like somebody threw a rock, and then we heard some like shuffling around back there. So we're like, oh, that's creepy.
Which literally no one could get back there. Like, you'd be crawling. It's like crawl space size. You'd have to be up in a little ball and then crawling on sharp rocks. Like, there was no way to get back there. There was nothing. So
it was like a little window.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
It would have been like a tiny little window of the old building that leads to underground nothingness now.
And it's like, okay, like debunk. Maybe it could have been like a little animal, but it was loud. It would
have been a pretty big rat.
Or like a raccoon the size of a golden retriever. My favorite hybrid, you know that.
Yeah, something like that.
So we're kind of like, oh, weird. You know, we didn't really think much of that, though. We just kept going along the tour. And then we get to this exhibit that is, who was it?
The guy?
Yeah.
So they think we get to this like part, and this is what I was talking about, where they excavated the original mound. We get to this part, and it's like a burial site for what they think was kind of a deity, or kind of like either the holy man or the leader, or a very, very important person for whatever the pagan tribe was. And so they buried him, and they excavated it and found his bones, and he's thousands of years old. I mean, he's really old. But what was the most interesting is around him they found all these like vases filled with different animal tissues and organs and things like that. So they think that they were actually sacrificing things to this guy, and you know, doing their rituals and spooky things.
Which I was like obsessed, because like skeletons, like coolest thing ever, and it was like in perfect condition. I'll post a picture of it. So it was so cool. Like, I don't know. So we snap a picture with it, and like the second we take a picture with it, was it my thing?
Yeah, we were listening to Abby's voice recording thing to learn about the dude.
And also we just ended up turning it up louder because there was no one else in there. So we're like, we'll just share instead of holding it up to our ears. So do you want to tell what happened?
No, you.
Okay. So right as we take that picture, and I'm like, I have my thing around my wrist. Like, I don't think I was even holding anywhere near the buttons. Or maybe I was, but I didn't touch the button. Like,
no, it's around your neck.
Oh, yeah.
You put them around your neck.
Yeah, you're right. But I did not touch the button. All of a sudden, my voice recorder does this, like, deep, like, typical scary movie, like, demon voice. Like, speaking a different language. Like, it sounded like it was, like, maybe Latin or something, and it was just, you do the best impression. It was, like...
I don't know, I mean...
Maybe we'll have to put a clip in of what it was like. Because it's, like, the typical scary movie demon voice.
And take into consideration, we're listening to this in English. I mean, you have to, like... He hands you the English recorder. You know, there's different languages.
Well, we've been listening to it for an hour.
Yeah, and he asked the guy at the beginning. He asked you, "Oh, what language do you want?" You know, and then there's the Japanese ones, the Korean, the Chinese, the English, the German. We picked the English ones. He gives it to us, and it's pre-recorded in a woman's voice. Like Siri. Imagine Siri speaking to you about what this site is, and then all of a sudden Siri turns into like.
We're gonna find a recording, and because it's like, you've heard it, you know the voice I'm talking about, and we just look at each other, like, chills down my body. And I've never been so aware of how alone and how, like, into this maze we were, because this thing was a maze.
It's a labyrinth.
Like, we kept, like, getting lost. We'd, like, skip one and be like, oh, we were supposed to go up with that. Like, all they had was, like, these tiny arrows. So seriously, we just looked at each other and just started speed walking. Like, we did not see anyone for ages. So
Yeah,
I've never felt so scared.
it was pretty spooky.
His lights flicker again. It was so scary though. And the thing is, we clicked the button again. It's just back
Fine,
to normal.
yeah. I mean,
nothing.
and the thing is like it was within 1 second of us taking a selfie with the skeleton who they were doing like rituals to and with and.
Okay. Well, and I also took a Polaroid with it. And I ended up leaving that Polaroid at, I'm sorry, whoever's Airbnb, whoever's house this is, but I left it there because I was like, I'm not bringing this home.
Yeah, bad juju.
Like, it creeped me out. Something about it just felt so off.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Like, I have the picture on my phone. Like, I'm usually not, like, but in the picture, like, and I don't know if this was just the Polaroid, but it was kind of weird that this happened because it usually doesn't, because I use the flash, but we were, like, blacked out, and you could just see, like, part of the skeleton. It was really a weird picture.
Yeah. All you could see was like the skeleton, and our faces were like blacked out. But then you could see our shirts just fine. It was like just our faces
Ew,
faces
it
were
scared
blacked
me so
out.
bad, and it freaked Cammy and Charlie out. They were like, "Do not keep that picture." So we left it.
Yeah, I wonder what language they would have been speaking back then because it totally sounded like it was Latin.
Yeah,
we
should look that up.
I mean, I think they did speak Latin around that time, but would these pagan tribes have been speaking Latin? That would be an interesting follow up. Because it sounded like some demon Latin voice. So I wonder if it was like the guy who we were kind of laughing about. Like, look at his funny skeleton. Look, this skeleton is so cool.
We were making fun of it. We were making fun of it.
We're like, oh my gosh, a skeleton. You know, we
want
to take a selfie with it. But he felt like we were harassing him.
Yeah, we weren't meaning to. We just thought it was cool.
Bones.
Yeah, we weren't trying to be disrespectful or anything. But yeah, it was wild. So, Brad, did you just do that?
No.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm not doing anything.
Brad, you're messing with me.
I'm not.
And the
lights,
flickering.
Holy hell.
Should I leave that on again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. But are you serious?
Brad's not touching anything. I'm watching Brad. He's not doing anything.
My eyes are starting to water. I'm scared.
All right, let's cut it. We're waking the demon man up.
No. Okay. Guys, that was real. That was okay. My heart is racing. So.
But that's kind of what it was like.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Oh my gosh.
Except imagine a creepy voice.
Yeah. I'm going to find an insert. We have to. So yeah, that was a crazy story. I don't think it really, like, shook us up, though. Like, I feel like we left, and once we left, it was fine. My heart is pounding.
Yeah, that was cool.
Are you creeped out?
I mean, no. I kind of want to talk to the guy.
Stop! No.
Tell me about your life.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Thanks for coming on, babe.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah. I guess that's all we have for today, but you know I'm going to harass you and make you come be on the show again.
Can I do my Ferris Bueller trick?
Yeah. Do it again. I still can't figure out how to do it. Also, we're obsessed with Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Go watch it.
Yeah, literally, I married Ferris Bueller.
I'll go watch it. I'm going to watch it today, so watch it.
Yeah, wait till I get home after I record my next episode, because I want to watch it with you. That's, like, our favorite movie. I also just got Britain to start watching Mindhunter. What do you think so far?
First episode bored me to death.
It's
second
bad.
episode was like, okay, maybe I can do this. So
I'm
I'm
hoping
hoping that.
looking up the Golden State Killer while we were watching.
Well, yeah, because
I'm
I
gonna
want to know
convert
what these
you.
people are like.
Yeah.
You know, like, would I have been friends with this guy, not knowing that he was a serial
Yeah.
killer?
Yeah, that's the thing that fascinates me the most about true crime.
Do I need to worry about Hayden? Is he a serial killer? He could be. He could be.
Oh, yikes. Well, thank you so much, and I love you.
Love you.
Ew, you're the dumbest.
Sorry,
human.
I was watching Brad write something down.
Okay. You're so dumb, but I love you most.
I love you.
Okay. But yeah, it was so fun to have you, and we will hear... and we will see you guys next week.
Makeup, masking, and murder.
This episode of Makeup, Masking, and Murder is written and brought to you by me, Abby Hill, with special thanks to our amazing production manager, Brad Neufeld. Our theme song and music is written by David Evanhoff, owner of David Evanhoff Sound Designs. Vocals by the amazing Emily Starr and David Evanhoff. Thank you to everyone who's made this possible, and we will see you guys next week.